Hi, you with IndiaPostLive.com, India's first online news conversation web TV. And what's funny today is because I'm laughing because we've run a fabulous Twitter contest and the results are really joyous. And we've been running a excellent Hambole contest. So I'll just quickly take you through the entire contest that we've been running. It's a hashtag Hambole, and yes, you can in fact see it on your screens right now. Just go to IndiaPostLive.com and see the results over there. The questions that we've been asking on that contest are yes, that is how you can log in and ask the questions. We're asking you 3 questions. You can participate, win a sedan. There are other things to be won, including iPads, mobile phones. So there are a whole host of prizes that you can win on Hambole. And it's just a simple process. Just log in over there. You'll be asking 3 questions. How many seats will the following parties win? That is the Congress, BJP, Aam Aadmi Party and others. How many seats will the following alliances win? The UPA, NDA, Left Third Front and the others. And who will become Prime Minister? Rahul Gandhi, Narendra Modi, Arvind Kejriwal or any other. So you just fill in your details, and if you participate in this contest, you can win a sedan car, their iPads, their iPods, the whole host of prizes to be won. So do go and participate. On Twitter, we've been running a day-long contest itself today, where we've been discussing various issues, and you can win an iPad today itself as well. In fact, let's take you through what has been happening on the Hambole results. But first, let me introduce my guest in the studio. I have with me 2 senior journalists. Amit Sen Gupta joins me in the studio, and Sanjeev Singh, consulting editor in India Post Live, also joins us. So, guys, have you made your predictions as far as who do you think is ahead? I mean, it all seems to be going the BJP way, Amit.
We have, this exit polls at some level is a kind of a gamble as far as a vicarious kind of a kick. And I don't think the cynical journalists are at all impressed by these predictions. And as you must have noticed, our own psephologists have been saying that it is basically a symbolic and a symbolic process of trends, and does not really specify exact results. And to capture eyeballs, the television channels and the media just go ahead for that that moment of instant gratification or instant capturing of eyeballs. So I really don't go by even if the margin of error in the from 2004 to 2009 elections, you see there was almost 100 margin of error. Even if you give 40-50, considering everyone agrees that all the time there's an overestimation in support of the BJP. Let us not forget in 2004. There was a Kargil war and the elections were preponed, and there was a national mood which was like a patriotic and nationalistic national mood, and anti-Pakistan, which is like a bread and butter for a party like BJP. There was almost for a year they had put forces on the border after the attack on Parliament, and then they had 2002 Gujarat. And then of course saffronization of education, etc. All that process was going on. So the atmosphere was they actually thought and India shining. So they had never expected that the Sea Voter, and yesterday's the Sea Voter founder Yashwant actually said that he had apologized for giving almost 284 to BJP, which finally got 159 in 2004. So even if we say that life has changed and things have changed, and so Modi is a very important factor, which he is. There's no denying the fact. I think we should keep our fingers crossed.
All right, but let's take you through quickly the Hambole results that have been coming in so far, the predictions that you've been making. So we've been asking you, and you can just go to India Post Live and fill in the form. And this is what is reflective right now of all the people who've been predicting. So the Congress, according to the how many seats will the following parties win, BJP is winning 209 seats, the Congress 111, Aam Aadmi Party 31 seats, and others 150 seats. So Aam Aadmi Party, all thanks to social media and the kind of support they enjoy over there, I think that's why they're 31 seats, because their own leaders are not saying these many seats for them in this election. Sanjeev?
Yeah, because that's the effect of social media that you see. And I would like to go by what Amit is saying, is that we should keep our fingers crossed. In fact, most of the psephologists on various TV channels and on India Post Live have said that it's just an indication or a trend of what to expect. And if we go by the figures that are showing here, NDA more or less seems to be the front runner, but Aam Aadmi Party, even their senior leadership, I think their only aim is to be a national party, garner that many percentage of votes so that they can be recognized as a national party. But double digits also looks tough as far as the Aam Aadmi Party goes.
All right, but what our internet audience is indicating, Amit, that certainly it's not as clear. I mean, the UPA getting 140 seats, the Congress getting 111 seats. So there are enough voices out there. I don't know whether this is truly reflective of India, because it's obviously, this is people over social media, people with access to computers, electricity, and with the intelligence or the tools to do an activity like this. But the fact is, it's not all out for the Congress. I mean, it could be...
No, in the sense that the social media also reflects the larger political perception, and in terms of looking at shifting political paradigms, we always look at as political perception also, in the sense that the political perception, actually most political parties move through political perception. Even the Modi wave at some level is a kind of a political perception. To say that the social media was completely dominated by the followers of Modi, and to say that the trolls were all happening and there was hate politics which was generated by those who were not accepting any criticism of Modi. This kind of a post actually shows that it is not a black and white scenario. You have half of the circle actually not going with the Hindutva kind of politics, and reasserting some various trends of anti-corruption, secular, and other forces. Also, Arvind Kejriwal and Manish Sisodia has yesterday said that 10 plus or 10 minus. The point is that Kejriwal and Aam Aadmi Party is also a very young party, and they have a huge influence in the social media. And the movement itself became a part of the social media as the anti-gang rape movement happened in Delhi and elsewhere. So it finally, as in terms of political perception, and as on India Post, the psephologists were also talking, you look at it as a futuristic dimension of a kind of a capturing of imagination of some kind. If Modi wins with a very small margin from Banaras, he has captured the imagination. And Kejriwal has already captured the imagination of Banaras. So despite cynicism about Aam Aadmi Party or any criticism, you have to see that he had the guts to go, and the first time to go and stand up despite all the ink and the eggs and the kind of hostile local reactions of the hardcore BJP supporter. So he has been able to, or the Aam Aadmi, there's a lot of young people from IITs, and a lot of young people have been volunteering in Banaras and all over the other places. So they are moving towards a kind of a larger shift in political perception, which is going to have an impact in the days to come in Indian politics.
All right, but the other interesting graphic that I'd like to pull out, and this is what you've been seeing on Hum Bole, that's hashtag Hum Bole on the Twitter contest, and you can just go to indiapostlive.com and log in and participate in this contest. Who will become Prime Minister? And 66%, that's almost 2/3 people saying that Narendra Modi will be Prime Minister. Rahul Gandhi's approval rating is certainly down, so you might be giving the Congress 111 seats, but Rahul Gandhi is not even getting 10% as far as the Prime Ministership is concerned. But surprising or not surprising, Sanjeev, for a reluctant candidate?
Well, I will not be surprised if it turns out like that, because but Kejriwal only at 5%, that surprises me, because the kind of if we can go back to the previous graphic,
if you can just scroll down,
if you see the number of seats that are being given to others, I'm sure Kejriwal fits into that. So the number of people wanting Kejriwal should be more. But then again, it's interesting if you see that NDA gets only 235 seats, so that leaves about 320 seats in the open. Now the question is, between the UPA and NDA, this so-called left third front and others, they are going to be the kingmakers and not these two big the green and the red on the pie chart. So I mean, even on social media, despite whatever the BJP may say that there is a Modi wave, social media still thinks that the game is still wide open, and I think that's a very interesting point that's coming out.
Also, just briefly, that if there is no wave, and if there is no Modi wave, and he's riding an anti-Congress wave, then and if Congress is decimated and they are saying Congress will not get even 90, 80, social media is still giving Congress 140.
Yeah.
All right, that indeed is surprising. That is what none of the exit polls are saying. That is what you, the viewers, are saying. We are not making these predictions. You yourself are, because you're going on the IndiaPostLive.com website, and there's a Hambole contest that we are running over there. And in that contest, you can participate, log in, and you can just predict these questions. The 3 questions that we are asking. Yes, predicting is easy. That's the Hambole contest on your screens right now. And I'll just ask the producer to show that to you right now. How many seats will the following parties win is the first question that we are asking. How many seats will the following alliances win is the second question, and who will become Prime Minister is the third question. Alright, we've also been running a Twitter contest all day long on India Post Live, and we've been receiving a fabulous amount of tweets. We've got about 4,500 of you predicting and participating in that contest. We're asking about the relevance of various leaders in the political scenario in this election. We've been talking about people like Deve Gowda. The question that we asked for Deve Gowda is, will regional parties in Karnataka play spoiler for Deve Gowda and the JDS? And you can respond on that. Will Lalu Yadav block or affect the Modi surge in Bihar? And the kind of responses also I'd like to share with you that we've been getting on this. In fact, if we just run through the kind of responses that you, the viewers, have been sending in, Neeraj Dheeraj writes in that no, he's not going to. Srinath writes in, no, most of the exit polls have predicted the NDA to win many seats in Bihar, and this is in reference to Bihar.
Yeah, there's another interesting tweet from Rohit. He says, no chance, but definitely going to affect Nitish.
Okay.
So, I mean...
So what do you make of Bihar? I mean, Lalu, that is what... I mean, the rumor or the grapevine was that Lalu could win a substantial amount of seats. I mean, he could be the spoiler to the NDA party, and that is what he'd also said, that I had stopped the Guru and now I'll stop the Chela. But this is not what people are saying, and this is not what the exit polls are also saying as well.
See, I mean, if you look at it, there's someone called Go_Green. He says, yes, caste factor will be the trump card in Bihar. So I mean,
so has Lalu gotten it right, because his caste factor I think was the Muslim Yadav factor.
Of course, I mean, see, the Yadavs anyways have rallied around him because of the breakup between Nitish and the BJP. Nitish has become weak, or he's perceived to be weak. So you know that has helped the minority vote make up its mind. Wherever, you know, I mean, the first option would be Lalu's party, but until the JDU is given a very strong candidate, you do not see the Muslim vote shifting away from Lalu Yadav. So that's why, you know, I mean, again, the caste factors will come into play. What BJP has managed to do is that, you know, they've got the smaller caste like the Kushwahas and, you know, the Paswans, that they've added to their already solid upper caste vote bank. But again, you know, I mean, you can call it a wave or whatever. It'll all boil down to the caste arithmetic. And that is why, you know, BJP seems to have got it right as far as UP and Bihar are concerned, especially in UP.
All right, the other interesting tweet was by Chirag Gupta, who says the fodder scam has ruined Lalu's chances and Modi doesn't have it easy, but still feel that Lalu won't be a big trouble. So there are different opinions that are coming in. The exit polls are also saying that Lalu is not doing that well, and the BJP is set to gain majorly in Bihar. We'll also run you through other tweets that we've been running through the day in our Twitter contest. What was the next question that we asked? Let's take you through that. So this is still about Bihar. We've been discussing other few questions as well. We've, of course, about Karnataka and H.D. Deve Gowda is there. About, I mean, for former Prime Minister, not, I mean, his caste equation got a little, I mean, he lost that advantage that he held in Karnataka. I mean, Amit?
I think in the next following show in India Post Live, there's going to be a much deeper, in-depth analysis of the Karnataka scenario. But Deve Gowda, as you remember, he called himself the humble farmer in Parliament when he was Prime Minister, and that resonates even now. And he has been a Prime Minister of the state. You know, in some manner, the people will not forget that. In terms of, you know, political perception and in terms of ground reality, it's a very, very important factor. So he will, I think they, as poll predictions are also saying, I think JDS will go, Kumaraswamy and Deve Gowda are on strong wicket as far as their constituency is concerned. But let us not underestimate the Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, who is a very rooted and grounded person. He was a poor shepherd actually, and he made his whole political career as from the ground, and He was a very underestimated leader who took the Congress to a victory. And let us not forget that Karnataka was the first state in the south where BJP could form a government, and where Siddaramaiah came and changed the equations completely. And so let us not underestimate the possibilities which Siddaramaiah has.
Also, the thing that, I mean, when the assembly elections happened about a year ago, JDS was actually giving a tough fight on 50 to 60 seats. But I think after the election, Siddaramaiah, because he's an old hand, he somehow realized that, he faces a bigger threat from the JDS than from the BJP. Because that's more or less the vote, that both the Congress and the JDS are eyeing for. So I think he's done his homework there, which is why, I mean, you see that we will see the results on the 16th, but I think that that's what he has tried to do. I mean, Siddaramaiah will try and ensure that, he knows a certain section will not vote for him. So try and keep the other caste with him. And that, if he manages to do that, then the biggest, sufferer is going to be the JDS.
All right, so also on to a neighboring state, Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu, we asked you on the Twitter contest that we are running today, is which party will play the major role? Or do you feel the AIA-DMK will join the NDA after the elections? Because the AIA-DMK is expected to win the substantial number of seats. How do you see Jayalalitha and Modi, that equation panning out, Amit?
I would not, jump to any kind of a conclusion on that. She has had a good relation with Modi in the past. We remember she gave him some huge lunch or a dinner on some 49 crores or something like that.
Yeah. And Modi had flown down for her swearing in.
She also apparently supported her, and then she moved away from the left. And when she was first she went with the left parties, and then she moved away with the left, keeping her cards still open. So I think we cannot really jump to any kind of a conclusion with Jayalalitha. She's also a very strong personality in her own manner, and she will not succumb to somebody else's authority also in that sense. And then she is a leader in her own right, and she has a tremendous self-esteem. So it will be very difficult to say which way Jayalalitha will go. Really.
All right, an interesting tweet over there, Sanjeev, about
Rohit.
Yes.
He's saying that the whole state politics depends on Sri Lankan Tamil issues, and this has to be the issue. I think he's more or less got it, because we saw Jayalalitha as far as that Tamil case was concerned, when she said that they should be, they should be spared, and she went ahead, and then we saw this whole legal tangle between centre and the state. So I think that is one issue where she has already scored over the DMK. But again, just 2 more days to go.
2 more days to go, and people certainly are participating in the Hum Bole contest on Twitter. That's hashtag Hum Bole to your tweets, and you can answer these simple questions. You can win a host of exciting prizes. There are iPads and iPhones and other new phones, gadgets up for grabs today. And on the Hum Bole prediction contest, you can go to indiapostlive.com, log in over there and participate. We're asking 3 very simple questions. You can make your own prediction and win a sedan. So it's a fabulous contest that you can participate in. Go ahead and try that. Thanks very much, Amit, for coming in, Sanjeev for coming in to discuss what you've been saying so far. So keep writing in, and we'll discuss a lot more about you and what you think about Indian politics, and who do you think is going to be ahead in this general election of 2014. Thanks so much for watching.